What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm with IJ, and we are locked in. You seen the thumbnail, spying. And who are we talking about? Detective Lopez spying on Detective Bryant. Detective Bryant, he's knee deep into the game now. He's trying to separate himself. So before we break this down, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel and you want to be a part of it, hit your subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. Now we're going to go into the details of what's really going on between the partners, Detective Lopez and Detective Bryant, and what could potentially happen coming from this whole situation. So is Detective Lopez really spying on Bryant? Let's find out. Detective Lopez and Detective Bryant are partners and they work for Drano. They're police officers, and Drano is the Downriver Area Narcotics Organization. It's an anti-drug task force. What they're trying to do is they're trying to investigate the body of J-Mo and how he came up missing, since he's the former head of the 12th Street. Now we know that J-Mo was hand delivered to Meech and was killed by B. Mickey, but the body popped up, and now their new captain is trying to say, hey, this is what we need to crack down on. We need to figure out who killed this guy so we can start locking everybody else up. Now for Detective Bryant, he's into the game now because this body can be traced back to him. We know that there was a witness, and this witness actually started describing the car that Detective Bryant was driving, saying, yeah, I seen J-Mo was picked up in that vehicle. You can see him here, and I'm talking about he's very descriptive. He's telling them how tall the car is, what year the car it is, the make, the model, the tail lights. So he knows everything. He's like a modern day Rain Man. This whole time, Detective Bryant is feeling kind of uncomfortable because he's saying, hey, man, he's describing my car and he's in here. You see Detective Lopez, he's just asking more and more questions. So Detective Bryant is feeling like we need to get this guy out of here as soon as possible, because this witness could turn around and easily say, it looks like it was kind of looked like you, Detective Bryant. So he ushers him out. When he leaves, though, the witness turns around and looks at Detective Bryant kind of in a sense like, you might fit that description of who I was describing. But he shakes it off and he walks off. So now Detective Bryant, he's really going through it. He's thinking, what else does he know? Now we also see Detective Lopez comes up to Detective Bryant and tells him, hey, J-Mo lost the earring. There was only one earring in his ear. So maybe if we can find anyone that has that extra earring, we could bring them in for questioning. With all of this, Detective Bryant goes and searches his car. And the reason he does this is because he had J-Mo in there. And what does he find? He actually finds J-Mo's earring in his car. At the same time, though, you're looking like Detective Lopez is starting to follow him, and you're wondering, hey, man, why are you following me so closely? What do you need? You need anything? He's like, nah, just coming down here. Detective Bryant plays it cool, though, and he hides the diamond in his pocket because he doesn't want him to know. So now, with all of this going on, Detective Lopez is like, hey, Bryant, you're not really going into the investigation as hard as you should be. They actually go to the witness's house, and when they get there, the witness is gone. Detective Bryant is trying to get out of there as fast as possible also. Oh, he's not here. We should get out of here. It turns out, though, Detective Bryant, when he goes to meet with Meech, he's telling Meech, hey, did you take care of this situation? And the situation is getting the witness to leave. And Meech is telling him, yeah, he may be gone to California. And that's where we have them here. We also see Detective Bryant giving Meech an envelope. We know at the end of episode 4, Meech came over there to pay Detective Bryant more money. Like, hey, we need each other. But what he's telling Meech, hey, I don't want anything to do with this. And he's trying to separate himself from the streets. Detective Bryant knows that this task force, their sole purpose is here to find who killed J-Mo. We need to get some suspects and lock them up. So he's telling Meech, I don't want anything to do with you anymore. You handled the situation that will cover both of us. Because if the witness can tell that I did that, then if they can connect me to you, then it's really over for us. Now that leads us to the spying part on Detective Lopez. So he's getting kind of iffy and wondering and suspicious. Why is Detective Bryant moving like this? And why is he talking to Meech? He's sitting in this car. Now, we don't know if this is his regular car, because I'm sure Detective Bryant, who's been on the job this long, he would know this is my partner's car. But he pops up and he sees him drive off, and he also seen him talking to Meech. So this is going to make Detective Lopez dig a little bit deeper, and there's no telling how much or how long he's actually going to be telling and following Detective Bryant. So hopefully Bryant is, aware of his surroundings and keeping his head on the swivel, and he notices him. But as of right now, Lopez is trying to put 2 and 2 together, and he's trying to figure out, what is your connection with Meech? What is your connection with J-Mo? If he described your car and you were out there looking in the back seat, because you don't lose your house keys in the back seat if you're the driver. There's no reason for you to ever get in the back seat. Now, the only thing I can think that they can do to cover Detective Bryant is to take that earring, get the gun from B. Mickey, and then arrest Lamar and try to plant it all on him and set him up in that type of situation. Until then, though, until they can get a suspect for the J-Mo murder, I'm pretty sure Detective Lopez is going to be following him and watching him closely. Because if we got a dirty cop in here, we got to get rid of him. That's as simple as that. That's all we got to do is get rid of him. There you go. That's what I have on the spine of Detective Lopez on Detective Bryant. Let me know, what is your theory? How long do you think that Detective Lopez is going to follow him? And then you think that they can get him off the case if they were to set somebody up with the earring and maybe the murder weapon? Let me know what you guys think. I'm Mo.J. If you like the content on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Give me all your theories, because that's what we here for. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.